Hello, welcome back. I am so excited to be here with our wonderful Tamara Casey of Designs by Jude, who is in the house. Hey, Tamara.
Hey, Rachel. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
This is super fun because Tamara and I, of course, work together so much at the Virtual Doll Convention with Club Grace, and Tamara has been a big part of all of our Elowen releases over the last couple of years. You've sponsored patterns for us, which has been so much fun, and now you're here in Denver, so it's great.
Absolutely, and I'm super excited to be here. I offered to come numerous times. Each and every time she packed those boxes, I wanted to see what was inside before she actually sent them, but this is my chance to truly know.
Tamara's in town with her wonderful husband, Joel, who's here doing it's a karate conference, basically, is kind of what it is. And he's a twice black belt?
Yep, second degree black belt in ninjutsu.
Ninjutsu.
Yep.
So I think that's so interesting, and I love it. So it's in Boulder, Colorado, but Tamara's here, and it's been so lovely. We've been getting to know each other and chatting about business and life and having Mexican food, and it's been really good. But I wanted to bring Tamara to you so that you could meet her a little bit and chat a little bit, because we get to know your talent, and you were recently featured on the Doll podcast, which was really interesting and fun. But on my channel, we haven't done a whole lot, and I want my friends, you out there, to get to know Tamara a little bit. So I'm very excited. Are you down?
I'm down.
Okay.
Put me down.
Put her down. So Tamara Casey of Designs by Jude. Designs by Jude is your brand. That is the place that we come to get your wonderful patterns. Where did what is Designs by Jude? Who's Jude?
The Judes. There's actually three of them. One that you've already spoken of, Joel, Jude, go figure, named by his mother. My two sons, Joshua and Jacob, both also Judes. And unfortunately, because of my brand name, people think my name is Judy. But just so we're clear, it's not. Tamara Casey.
So you came up with that name on your own?
Yep, I did. In retrospect, I might have chosen something different, but I do love the Jude, so I'm glad I kept it.
I like it. Okay, so that's good. Now, you have been making patterns professionally for a long time. How long has this been your gig?
This has been my gig since my first pattern in 2005 that I created for the 12-inch Marley Wentworth by Tamara.
And so did you make that first pattern as a hobby thing to do, a one-off situation? Or
really, I did it because my mom is very interested in doll collecting, and that we share the sewing hobby in common. We noticed that Marley didn't have any additional clothing other than her original outfits that she came in, as well as a couple basics, and we thought it would be fun to create a few more outfits for her.
So you started with Marley, who of course is a Robert Tonner doll, and that uncorked the bottle, I think, for a lot of the Robert Tonner dolls that you have made patterns for, which is, gosh, how many could you even say?
I think the collection includes about 1,000 different designs. Some of those are duplicates for different bodies in the Tonner line, as well as some other manufactured lines as well.
So you started with the Marley, and you were introduced to the business through your mom, who's a riot, by the way.
Yes, she absolutely is, and I hope that you see her on my channel a little bit more, because she should be a featured person. I definitely think so. Yeah.
I think so too. So then you bought a company.
Yes, and that really is what took off Designs by Jude as a pattern company. Originally, I did a lot of repainting and reselling of dolls that I found at great discounts, and when people were really discovering eBay as a profitable marketplace, when it was just yard sale-y, before it became really big business. I was introduced to Gary Fletcher's pattern company by my mom, and he originally designed some patterns for the Tonner doll conventions, and my mom said, "Hey, Gary's selling his pattern company," and I said, "Okay, who is that? And what are you talking about?" So fortunately, he was a trained designer and had fabulous outfits, as well as perfectly fitting patterns, and he was willing to part his ways from the doll community to do some pursuing of human fashion design, and it worked out perfectly for us. So we purchased it in 2008, taking the collection from 70 to about 140, and then from there it multiplied by 10. So, yeah. No, she has so many wonderful patterns, and to me it feels like you come out with them very quickly, but I know a lot is involved from a concept in your head to the point that it's a pattern for somebody. What is a typical day like when you're in pattern mode? What is a typical work day like for you? Well, I love to get up early, so a typical workday always starts at about 5 a.m. because you can get so much work done before anyone else actually even gets up, which I love. And usually it starts either with a specific idea in mind or something that I see visually. So if I see a really interesting outfit, generally I'll see it on a human person, and I'll try to deconstruct it in my mind of how I would create that. And sometimes it's not always intuitive how you would put those pieces together. So I kind of do some looking around on Pinterest, and then I look at human fashion and I try to deconstruct it in that way. And usually if you can find the basic lines of a specific design, then you can figure out the tweaks that they took to make that something very simple like a sloper into something really fabulous. So it's generally the idea.
Yeah, I love it. And I know some are probably a lot easier than others.
Oh, absolutely. And some are a lot more complicated looking than they are in crafting, which is kind of fun too.
Yeah. One of my favorite patterns that Tamara ever did for Club Grace was you did one on, I believe it was October of last year, where the finished result was like a witch's costume almost, but it started with a jumpsuit, and then you added layers and all this stuff, and it was like a mini wardrobe in one pattern. You didn't probably start out thinking it was going to end like that, did you?
I did not. But something that I really do enjoy is giving people the opportunity to take elements and add them together.
Yeah.
So before that was you get a jacket, a blouse, and a skirt, but it's interesting when you can take a base pattern that's a costume and deconstruct it into everyday wear or something that's very formal and make it casual. So that particular pattern was Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
And that same year, last year, is when the new Hocus Pocus movie came out, and I didn't even realize it was happening at the same time. So
well, the pattern that you've been working on lately is also in conjunction with a movie that we are so excited about.
A secret movie, and I am very excited about the pattern. I think it's going to be really good.
It'll be a part of your world very soon. I guess that's all we can say, but that's pretty good. So speaking of being a part of your world, one of the things that I am very proud of for you in the last couple of years is you opened a YouTube channel, and you have almost 7,000 subscribers, 6,800. We're going to get to 7,000. But I remember when we were trying to get you to 1,000, and then it just took off. In 2 years, you've posted over 200 videos. What has your YouTube journey been like for you?
Interesting.
Yeah.
As with anything, whether it's sewing or any type of creating, there's a constant learning curve. And so once you get the basics down, you get sort of comfortable with that. And then you find a new way of doing things or a better way to improve on your content or your filming or your creation or anything. So I really have to say that YouTube channel exists because of you. And I would like to thank you publicly.
Oh, that's not where I was going with this, but I am very excited for your YouTube channel.
You will remember
it's
it.
Fun.
Rachel did encourage me to be the sewing person on one of the virtual doll conventions, and I remember her asking me, and my answer was, can I give you a PDF? I was so nervous to actually do it, but the community was so embracing and so kind. And I remember as that video was airing during the virtual doll convention that people were able to comment, and I was able to see that. And it was because of you guys that I was able to have the courage to do that second video. So my heart is full of gratitude for you. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. And that first video, I remember it was almost 2 hours long. And I think wasn't it like an hour? And
it was. It was really, really long. Noteworthy style. Yeah.
But I just felt like a proud mom because we were talking about it and you were pretty resistant to it. And then you came out with a second, third, fourth, and then it was like every pattern comes with a video. And now your videos are less than 10 minutes.
Generally, they are less than 10 minutes. And I guess I just really didn't realize there would be space available where people could go and get those questions answered to the construction of those patterns. So I'm glad to provide the answer to the question. And if you have questions, obviously you can always post that in the comments. But it's been a good learning experience for me, and it also gives me an opportunity to test my own patterns, So it's very good.
Well, do you test them before you
put
them out there?
I do. Absolutely. I always do test them. But when I film, then I sew them again. Mm-hmm. So it gives me a chance to tweak it and make it a little bit better, I think.
And so have you filmed and then been like, and then gone back and tweaked the pattern and then you have to do it over again?
Yes. I mean, to some degree, I think the challenge with the length of time that my pattern business has been in existence is that I learned as I went. I'm self-taught seamstress. And so obviously what I put out today is a lot more efficient and effective than what I might have put out originally in my content. So when I have an opportunity to go back and redo or restructure something because I find a better or more efficient way to do it, then I do it at that time. And you might notice that in some of the videos that I'll say, if you downloaded this pattern, you know, you have access to coming back and getting the revised copy. You know, it's not perfection, it's progress, not perfection, but we're all working towards a good outcome. So
totally.
Yeah.
And even if you're not buying the pattern, just by watching somebody else do something, you can learn so much just by seeing how they do it, because everyone sews differently.
Right. It is the
So
recipe.
many, there's so many different ways to arrive somewhere. So you have sewn for a lot of different dolls, and you have, I can tell by your patterns that you have some favorites. What are your top three? What are your top three favorites?
Well, I'd have to say that Elwyn's one of my personal favorites and always has been. I love the RTB 101 dolls, all of them. Grace Marie Fitzpatrick, I have the London Society Grace. Love her. I just love her hair. Everything about her is my favorite.
There'll never be another.
She's the best one. If you didn't get her, I'm sorry. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I would have to say for a third, I go between, I enjoy going back to the child dolls once in a while. I don't do it a lot, but I loved Maudlin Macabre when Tanner brought her out. I think she should have had every color hair. I just think she's great. So I don't really, they take precedence based on what people are asking for. The interesting thing about creating a pattern is I get so excited when I bring something new to market, and as soon as I post it, people will say, can you do this for Jean? Can you do this for, someone else? And I think, oh my gosh, I just put it out. And of course I want to, but it takes time to get it into the other sizes.
You can't just click reduce and it, and it
I wish it was that way.
Essentially, you have to make a new pattern.
Correct.
A whole new pattern for the doll. Do you ever stay up at night thinking about what you're going to name a pattern? Or does it just come out?
Thank goodness.
I
think of the names.
I don't know, because coffee shop, coffee house.
No, that was originally that was a Fletcher pattern. So he had that, and I kept it as the same name
but
for
I
the
love
other patterns.
The names. I think the names are wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The invitation, do you remember?
Yes.
The invitation was because when you were pregnant and they were going to have a bridal shower for you. And the pattern was based on the fact that they were having, so it was the invitation.
Yeah. I find it all extremely fascinating. I find that anyone that is in business in this industry, I find automatically fascinating, because the doll industry is fascinating. Don't you think?
I do. I think it's full of all sorts of creative people who approach it from a different lens. And so, watching you and watching the evolution of your family and the history of the doll shop with your mother and just everything about the employees that have come and become such a rich part of your story and what you provide to your community is so cool. And then I have this little secret doll shop in North Carolina, which is really just my spare room. And I'm just working from a pattern aspect, but then with Marcia and her shoes and Diana Vining, everybody just brings something different to the party. And I think that's so fascinating. And I especially love how people photograph their dolls, or how they get into now doing the turnstile, how she turns with those pedestals, all of that. It's very interesting. There's room for everyone to demonstrate their own creativity with their dolls.
And it really is, at the end of the day, the reason why we do all of this is to have fun and to have an experience that's enjoyable and exciting, and sewing and creating is just such a huge part of that. And so every time that you bring something, it is such a fun thing. Now, one of the things that Tamara's going to hopefully do more of, she does her patterns, but we don't see a whole lot of other things. And one thing that I find so interesting is that you are in your real life a personal trainer.
Yes.
And you have been doing this for a lot of years. And you said one of your favorite things that you love about personal training is
to find people's internal potential and then convincing themselves and showing themselves the reflection of them through my eyes, because everybody has some innate coolness about them, and I think giving people the opportunity to see that for themselves is the difference between someone believing they can do anything or something, you know. It's just it's really a blessing to me, the people that I spend my days with, share my life both artistically and just in general, and I really feel blessed by that.
Yeah, no, I feel blessed by it too. And one of the things that I love, one of my favorite things, is when somebody did not sew before and they post their first creation. You go girl, or you go young man or old man or person, whoever's sewing. I love it. Do you just love that part when they're coming out of their shell, they're trying?
I absolutely do love it, and I have to say it's been really affirming for me. I mean, I think everybody needs a little stroke of confidence, and to see that people can take something that I made, and that they don't have to jerry-rig it in order for it to work, and they create beautiful things. It really honors me, and I respect so much the fact that we can share it together. So it means a lot. I think it's really, really cool.
I think it's extremely cool, and I am so excited that we're able to have this conversation and that you get to meet the person behind our wonderful Tamara Casey and Designs by Jude. Right now we are filming in advance of Tonnerfest, so we actually don't know what pattern you are making, but as this video is airing, the pattern is available, so I already love it.
I haven't created it, but I love it too. I love it too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So with that, we will have a sewing video and the pattern, and I encourage you to always check out Tamara's website. She is constantly adding new things.
Yes.
And then throughout the year, you have different events and specials, and one of my favorite things that she does is the Christmas in July.
Yes. Yes, and it's coming up soon. It's coming up soon.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. Oh, it is coming up soon because this event's airing in June.
Right.
In the middle to the end of June. So that's fun. And you have to check out her website every day, because every day there's new and different patterns that are $5.
Yes, in July.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's really fun. So anyway, this was great. Tamara, this was so fun.
Thank you so much.
Our next video is we're going to be going to the ARC thrift store next door and seeing if they have any clothes that we can purchase to cut up to make doll clothes out of.
And maybe from that particular video, I can take something home with me and create it and show it on my channel.
Yes! So fun. I love that. All right. Thank you, Tamara Casey, Designs by Jude. We have all of her website information in this video, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you at Tonnerfest.
Bye.